Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moguls. This is a Moguls event. I am Minister Gina Malik. I am one of the minister leads of Moguls, which is our entrepreneur ministry. And today we're going to be talking about resume and LinkedIn optimization. So, how can we make your resume better and help you to optimize your LinkedIn? And I'm here with my special guest. I'm so happy to be here. I have Deacon Dorrington Portier. I follow him on LinkedIn. I absolutely adore you. I love
Oh, thank you.
how you share your content, create content, and it's perfect to have you here today.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Absolutely. And then also we have Dr. McKinney, Tanika McKinney. Hey. She's also one of our LinkedIn gurus as well. I follow them both, and you are a thought leader. You are.
Awesome.
I love the way you share. You write posts. You write articles. You share insightful information and articles as well, and then you share other people's posts. So you keep your page engaging, and you both do. And I really appreciate you both being here with me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Happy to be here.
Yes, wonderful. So we're gonna jump right on in. We're gonna talk about why why this is important,
Hmm.
and especially to our congregation and our community. Why having optimizing your resume and also your LinkedIn page would coincide together. Why it would help you to stand out among the crowd, because right now in this climate it's very already hard to compete,
Yes.
but you have to stand out.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about ways of how we are standing out. And I do the same thing too. I live on LinkedIn. My social media, what I enjoy, what I like being on, I spend most of my time is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's where I do my networking. I post, I write articles, and I capture the attention of employers as well. And also, I get a lot of my contracts through networking through LinkedIn. So let's dive on in.
All right. I'm ready.
Yeah. So let's talk about let's start with resume optimization. I know we were just talking right previously before we went live
Yeah.
about optimizing your resume. And what are some of the things that you shared with me about using certain tools, AI tools in particularly,
Mhm.
to help optimize your resume?
Oh, yeah. So that is a very nuanced. This is a very nuanced conversation as it relates to resumes, right? So, previously your resume had to look a certain way. It had to have a certain font, had color, it had to pop, it had to be, a big attention getter. Well, now, the main thing about your resume is making sure that your resume is tailored to whatever jobs you're applying for. And if you're looking for a job and you've been looking for a while, or perhaps you're looking, for, applying for multiple jobs on a daily basis, it can be quite overwhelming, right?
Hmm.
And so one of the tools that I use is ChatGPT.
Yes.
Yep.
And the way that I utilize ChatGPT is, you know, through reading LinkedIn and looking at different people's posts on LinkedIn, one of the things that a lot of recruiters are saying is that you need to tailor your resume to the job that you're applying for. And ChatGPT is one of those AI tools that helps you to do that efficiently, and it makes it more timely, and it's less time consuming to apply for jobs.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
if you look at it, right, if you're looking for a job and you're earnestly looking for a job, so how many jobs should you apply for on a daily basis?
Hmm.
Probably about 10, right? So imagine having to tailor your resume 10 different roles at 10 different companies. That can be quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
ChatGPT is a very useful tool in doing that.
Right. And let's talk about how we use it. I know when I use ChatGPT to optimize my resume, I will upload my resume
Mhm.
and then also will input the job description, cut and
Mhm.
paste the job description.
Yes.
And I will prompt ChatGPT, I'm applying for this job. Tell me how I'm qualified for this job
Mhm.
and how can I optimize my resume to fit based on the skills and my experience from my resume. and ChatGPT does wonders.
Yeah.
It tells you, um, how it gives you the plus, how you're qualified for the job,
Mhm.
in what areas and where you stand out, and then also tells you how to optimize and how to add certain things, especially keywords, because
Yeah.
now
Mm.
with resumes, with jobs, they don't hand look at resumes. They have a system they call the ATS,
Mm.
and that's another AI system that that recruiters feed through the system, and now there's a system that reads your resume. It's not a human person on the back.
Now I gotta push back on that a little bit. So
Okay.
there's a perception out there that
Mhm.
a lot of companies are using AI, like just like you say, to read your resume.
Yeah.
However, I've seen a lot of pushback from recruiters that are saying, I look at every single resume that comes through my desk.
Okay,
So
good.
it may depends on the company, right?
Mhm,
So I want us to get away from believing that there's something that's stopping us from getting where we need to be.
mhm.
Because just like you said, if AI is a tool that we can use in order to enhance our resumes, we can't let AI hinder us
Right.
Mhm.
from
Mhm.
getting, our resumes in front of the right people. And I'm sure we'll talk more about how we can do that as
Yeah.
well during the
Okay.
conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dr. McKinney, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. Tailoring your resume using AI is a game changer. Like it can do things that we could never do, or at least it would take us weeks to do. Right? Something as difficult as changing your resume for every single job. That's a lot of work. I think AI just has given us opened up a world of opportunities for us that we didn't have before. And like Deacon Dorrington and I were talking before, he's like, "Well, people are is afraid of AI, but the stone men were using heat to cook, but stoves are much more efficient, right? So we're happy that we've come into a time where we have stoves where we can cook and we're not cooking outside on fire. So it's the same kind of premise. Like we are advancing and we should learn this new tool and get educated on this new tool so that we're not left behind. And a lot of people in Black minority communities just are not technologically savvy. And
Yeah.
that's a problem that we should be trying to fix. And it's something that everyone else is doing. So it is incumbent upon us to also learn and to gather the skills that we need to effectively and
Right.
efficiently use AI.
Absolutely. And then what are your thoughts about having variations of your resume?
You have to.
Mhm.
You have to have variations of your resume because in my field, I could have several different roles in public health or in health equity. And each one of those roles requires a different skill set. And so I have resumes for every single type of job that I could absolutely have.
Mhm.
And that has been a game changer because, like I said, you are doing the same job across different things,
Mhm.
but the way you do that job is different. And the skills you use for that job, the soft skills you use for that job are different. The technical skills you use for that job are different. And so
Mhm.
it's incumbent upon you to make sure that you have variations of that resume to send in for that specific job.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's definitely necessary.
I agree because I have about maybe 4 different variations in my resume, and it's the soft skills,
Mm.
and it depends on the job description that you have to highlight certain soft skills, and then also titles as
Right.
well, because I'm a solution architect, I'm a system analyst as well, and so and a project manager, so I can be able to navigate those resumes and then apply my skills accordingly to what the job description and what they are desiring to have in a candidate.
Right. And that also leads me to talk about the fact that you do have different resumes for different roles. You can then tailor those specific resumes for specific companies that you're applying to or
Mhm.
specific
Mhm.
roles
Mhm.
that you're applying for using ChatGPT, right?
Yes,
And then you also have to think about this. A lot of times we are sitting on skills that we are not utilizing and perhaps are unaware
That's very
that
true.
we have those skills to do a particular job.
mhm,
And again, going back to our conversation about AI can help us to extrapolate that information from our resumes and then give us a list of jobs that we are qualified for that perhaps we were unaware of before.
absolutely, absolutely. So, What are you thinking about a well-crafted when you think about
Mhm.
a well-crafted resume? I've seen resumes anywhere from 2 pages all the way to 10
Mhm.
pages. So what are your thoughts, with a well-crafted resume?
Well, a resume has to tell your story, right?
Mhm.
So when I'm looking at someone's resume or somebody's looking at my resume, it's my story. It's a representation of me. I once had somebody to tell me one time, I looked at your resume and it had some good information on there, but it doesn't represent who I think that you are.
Mhm.
And we have to think about that when we think about branding and we think about the ways that companies brand themselves and how they represent themselves out in the public. That's the same thing that our resume should be doing for us.
Absolutely.
And so you want to maximize, because you're very limited as far as space is concerned, but you want to maximize the space that you have and maximize those skills and those accomplishments that you've had, throughout your career so that when someone is looking at your resume, they can say, oh, this is what this person has to offer us, or this is what this person has done in the past that's going to really enhance, for this particular role that we're hiring for.
Mhm. Absolutely.
I was just thinking that I know very few industries where they want to read a 10-page resume.
Yeah.
Like that's the federal government only. And
Right.
nobody's trying to work for them right now. So to that end, I think concise is the goal.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then something I won't say vibrant, but please don't use black and white. Now I'm not telling you to use neon pink and in hot green or the vice versa. Don't use those colors, but have some color bringing some life to your resume.
Right.
You need a headshot
Mhm.
on your resume.
Mhm.
And one thing that people do not put as much time into that is really, really key is that cover letter.
Yes.
It has to be good. And it goes into telling your story. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, there's only so much, like I said, in that limited time that you can put into your resume about your story. But that cover letter is your place to expound upon those things. So it's just really important that you have a stellar cover letter to go to accompany your resume and that you're concise and that it's eye-catching and professional. I think those are the key things that I would say are important to a good resume.
Absolutely, I agree. Your resume should pop and it should stand out. I know with my resume, I use a template and I also use my picture. I have my picture on there and I tell a story. So when you have your summary, that is your time to tell your
Yeah.
story. And then also, as you said, keep it concise, keep the bullets concise, as well. And then also, if you have things that you contribute to, like extracurricular activities, like I'll add on there, like materials that I've written or
Mhm.
any accelerators that I may be a part of
Mhm.
or any of courses as well. I add my courses on there. So whatever you have to be able to stand out, you know, from the masses, you have to make yourself different and stand out. And definitely your both of your points are right on spot.
So if,
Yeah.
if I could add something to that, there is a caveat though, right? As far as putting your picture on a resume,
Okay.
Okay.
depending on the field that you're in. Say, for
Mhm.
example, if you are in marketing or if you're, some kind of creative, yeah, your picture would be appropriate, right? But
Mhm.
what I've learned is that it wouldn't be appropriate to put your picture on there because even though people have, they will look you up on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
you don't want to add that extra added temptation
A
to
barrier. Yeah. You
discriminate
could they
Discriminate.
could yeah.
against, you based on the way that you look,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then I think when you talk about color, that harpens back to a time where a lot of, folks were handing out their resumes in person, but now they're being emailed. And what I've learned is that it going back to your ATS conversation, ATS will get confused by color. ATS gets
Mm.
confused by a lot of formatting and boxes. So my resume is just black and white,
Okay.
Mm,
but the content of my resume is what pops.
yeah.
There are
Mhm.
different ways that you can do it. You can highlight certain accomplishments. I was told that it's important to quantify the things that you have done, instead of just listing a list of job duties,
Mhm.
right? So if, say for example, if you're in sales and you've increased sales for your company by 10% over a certain amount of time,
Yes.
that's the way that you should list that on your resume, as opposed to increase sales to, by, to all the stores in the last 3 months. But
Hmm.
how much did you increase sales?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's the information, I think, that's more important than the format. And although your pictures are quite lovely,
Thank you.
I don't personally, and from what I've read on LinkedIn, what people are saying here in America, people really don't have resumes that have pictures on them.
Mhm.
Over in Europe, they do. So,
Mm.
I mean, that's just what I've learned. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. It's kind of worked for me a little bit.
Yeah, it's worked for me too.
Well,
I was
look
just
at
gonna
I get
say,
compliments.
but you know what,
Look
Gina,
at
what
you.
I was just thinking about, I was just thinking
The field
about,
that you're in is,
I was
Yeah.
about to say also, there are probably the fields that we're in, they get points for hiring minorities
yes,
Uh-huh.
in science fields
Yes.
and
exactly.
in fields of medicine and health. They get points for that. So
Yes.
having it on your resume is a plus
Yeah.
in our, I think, in
In
our
your field.
Yes, in our
fields.
field.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah,
So a situation dictates, right?
situational.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. It
So
does.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
you have to look at what works for the field that you're in.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Because I
absolutely.
feel they're going to see me on LinkedIn. The first thing they
That's
do
true.
is
Yeah.
go straight to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
About LinkedIn, most people are not using LinkedIn effectively.
Yeah.
Like
No.
we got to talk a little bit about that, because
Mhm.
you're absolutely right. They're going to look you up on social media, and you would prefer they look you up on LinkedIn and Facebook, baby.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm 100% sure of that. So get a LinkedIn profile.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, this is a good time to jump right into our LinkedIn optimization.
Okay.
LinkedIn is very powerful, and you can
Mhm.
really get a good network on LinkedIn. Also, customers. If you have a product,
Mhm.
you're not only just looking for a job, but if you have a product or a service that you want to offer, LinkedIn is the place,
Mhm.
to really spend a lot of time and hone into that. So let's talk about LinkedIn optimization. How
Sure.
should your LinkedIn look? How should your header look? Your pictures? Let's talk about that.
Um, I I kind of tailor my LinkedIn to look kind of like my resume, in a way. So my summary is pretty much something that I would have on my general. So I have several resumes. So my general resume,
Yeah.
and I use the photo, the most professional headshot I have, not a lot of stuff in the background. Very professional, pristine, just clean photo.
With the arms folded.
Yeah. The power,
Right.
the power
The
arms.
power picture. Yes. I mean
Yes,
business.
That's all
yes,
kindness.
yes, with a very classic suit,
Yeah.
white shirt, something that's calm and professional.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So those are a few of the highlights, I think, for me. And what you can do on your LinkedIn also is build your audience. Like, you need to be following the thought leaders in your field.
Yes.
So it's not enough just to make a profile. You have to optimize that profile and start to build your network. And so that's how you get noticed. The larger your network, the more people see you, the more people notice you. They'll send you, I mean, LinkedIn sends you custom jobs. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
all of that is based on your network and who you follow and
Yep.
who follows you.
And
So,
also the algorithm, when
Yeah.
you start following thought leaders, because you become a thought leader,
right.
especially when you start engaging in their posts.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's something I really enjoy. I go
do
and
too.
follow thought leaders in my industry, and I go and engage and I have conversations, and it just creates a thread. And so what LinkedIn does is the algorithm, it introduces you to other
Mhm.
people that should be in your network, and
Mhm.
that's one thing I like about that too.
Absolutely. And there's more to it than just finding folks that are doing the same thing that you're doing. And then setting them a request to connect, right?
Hmm.
I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes, where they just send a connection request and expect this person is going to accept them and we're gonna just be, good old friends, and
LinkedIn buddies.
you're gonna have an opportunity come up, and
Yeah.
you're gonna recommend me for
Right.
the job, right? It does not work
No,
that
it
way,
does
No.
right?
not.
And just like you
Relationships.
said, you have to interact with those people.
Mhm.
Whenever they post something, comment.
Comment.
Oh, I think that's great. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, yeah, I remember when. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Tell your
Just,
story.
you play the game.
Yeah.
It's you got to play the game.
And then you'll get requests from them. And,
Exactly.
And people within that network.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And so when there is an opportunity at that company where that person works, hey, reach out to them. You can send them a message, and they'll
Mhm.
remember you
Mhm.
from your engagement, right?
Yes.
Because I don't know if you guys are like this, but it's kind of offensive to me when somebody just reaches out asking for something. I don't know who you are. We haven't
Absolutely.
Yes.
interacted. You haven't
It's so
interacted with my
frustrating.
posts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. It happens to me all the time.
Mhm.
I mean, all the time. And I'm like, I don't know you, Sally.
right. Right.
But one thing I want to say is we spend a lot of time on social media in general, just as people and individuals.
Mhm.
The one social media platform that actually can better your life
Yeah.
is LinkedIn.
Yes.
So if you could just take 15 less minutes on Facebook, spend that extra 15 minutes on LinkedIn, engaging with people in your field, thought leaders, building relationships, that will benefit you much more than that 15 minutes you spent on Facebook doom scrolling. So I'm just saying, like, build it into your day
Mhm.
that you are going to engage effectively and efficiently with your LinkedIn, because it will pay off for you in the long run.
Absolutely. And let's talk about thought leadership, or because it goes into the reason why Moguls, we invited both of you to join this panel is because we're thought leaders on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
And to become a thought leader is creating your own post, writing your own articles. And sometimes I'll sit there and I'll write what's over in the top of my head, and I'll write something. Or I'll use ChatGPT
Absolutely.
to help me because we're busy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're all
Absolutely.
busy. And so sometimes we just need a little help.
Yeah.
And what I'll do, I'll say, ChatGPT, I want to create articles and posts for the next 30 days about digital health interoperability. And it will create my titles, and then it will create my posts for me.
Yes.
And then that's when thought leadership comes in, where we are. Thoughts on that?
Oh gosh, yeah. So I'm going to take you back. When I was laid off from the last role that I was in, it takes, like Dr. McKinney said earlier, it takes a toll on you, right? It really takes a toll on you. Somebody else was saying it does take a toll on you, and you're so tempted to post things that could be perceived as negative
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
LinkedIn. Woe is me, woe is me,
Mhm.
help me, I'm
Mhm.
desperate. Even though that may be the case, you don't want to, that's not the brand that you want to put out there, right?
Mhm.
And so one of the things that you will run into is that when you are in your job search, say, for example, you are in the thick of your job search, you will constantly see posts from other people. Woe is me, I'm on my last, $2 and I'm going to be put out,
Oh,
blah, blah,
goodness.
blah.
No.
If you look at my LinkedIn profile, the very last job on my LinkedIn profile is customer service, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a job that I did in 1998, right? But it's as a sole proprietor. So it is something that I had to fall back on as a source of income
Mm.
until my next opportunity came.
Yes.
And so you have to make yourself attractive to employers when they see that, oh, you've been doing, you were laid off, in 2023, but you've been doing this since then, and you've been making it happen. You've been, like we say in the church all the time, making a way out of no way, right?
Right.
And, you have to show that you are resourceful
Mm-hmm.
instead of using LinkedIn as your sounding board to say how horrible your life is, right? So we
Right.
got to be mindful and conscious of those type of posts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, your titles is important.
Mm-hmm.
You can want to lead with something like what you do, not just I'm a system analyst.
Right.
Okay, do you need help with optimizing your systems. And I know with my LinkedIn, my title is pretty about 2 lines on that. And it talks about optimizing
Mhm.
interoperability with digital health and also help with C-suite.
Mhm.
So who is your audience?
Right.
And who are you talking to? Who's going to, when they come to your LinkedIn page?
Right.
And then also in your description, your bio,
Yeah.
make sure that's telling a story as well.
Yes.
And then also your job descriptions. Don't just put your title, what you did, but what did you do?
Exactly.
It's kind of like copy paste from your resume.
Yeah. What did you accomplish?
Yes.
Yeah. That's extremely important because people want to know, companies want to know why they should invest in you.
Yeah.
Right. And it's an investment, that goes both ways. You're investing in a company when you decide to take a role at a particular company and they're investing in you. So, it goes both ways. So you're absolutely right. Those job titles really matter. That's why a lot of times when you are in a particular role, and even though like a promotion is not necessarily going to give you a whole bunch more money, sometimes that title is worth more than what
Yeah.
what they could give you as far as a raise is concerned, because you're thinking you're looking at it from a big picture approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, oh, you know what, I'm not going to be here that much longer, but I'll take that title, because when I
Yeah.
leave, when I put that on my resume, when I put that on LinkedIn, folks are going to see that, oh, you were promoted to vice president. I may have only been vice president for a month,
But
Yes.
I was that. That
but
was
I
my
was a
title.
vice
I was
president.
a vice
And guess
president.
what? What kind of roles can you apply for?
Vice president.
Vice president.
There you go.
And
C-suite.
to piggyback off of that, I think people see LinkedIn as this tool you only use when you're looking for a job.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
And it's absolutely not supposed to just be used to look for a job. It's supposed to be building your resume and building your profile so that one day, if you find yourself in need of a job,
Yep.
you
Yes.
have a history on LinkedIn that you can point back to as a thought leader.
Yes.
So though I have a job, love my job, not looking for one, I continue to be engaged on LinkedIn because you never know, greener pastures.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared for that.
Yes.
And speaking of greener pastures, that green banner, right? That green banner says "Open to work."
Open to
Yeah.
work.
There's been a lot of
Yeah.
controversy about having that on your your profile picture, but for me, I keep it there because I'm always open to work.
Yeah.
I'm for sale to the highest bidder.
I know that's
My goodness, say it again.
Yes.
Say
So
it again.
so if you as a company, if you're intimidated by seeing that my profile says open to work, then I don't know what to tell you, because I'm
Yeah.
always open to work. Just as companies are always looking to get better.
Now that's the
That's
truth.
true.
We should probably treat that a little bit
Exactly.
more like they treat us. Because
Exactly.
I say this all the time to people too. Baby, if you leave here at 9 a.m., at 9:42, your job will be posted.
That's right.
Yes.
And they will fill
That's
your
right.
position.
They will.
Feel it.
They'll call your family and say, we're sorry you
Thoughts
lost.
and prayers.
Yes, but they will fill that role.
They will.
So
Right.
please stop giving them the best of you
That's right.
all the time. I know this is not what this is about.
Right.
But
It's
just
the truth.
Yeah.
saying, just consider that
I
every
wor-
day.
I worked with a woman. She had worked for this company I was with for 30 years. She had all kinds of health problems because the job was so stressful. She retired. 6 months later, she was dead.
My goodness.
Mm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Put you first. Always.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Put yourself first.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm always interviewing.
Yeah.
A recruiter contact
go.
me. I like your profile. Submit your
Mhm.
resume. I love my contract,
Yeah.
my clients, but I'm always interviewing.
That's right.
And to me, it sharpens my skill anyway.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
I'm interested in interviewing for that position or not, I
Yeah.
still make time to interview because it just sharpens you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And to piggyback off of what you just said, sharpen your skills, right? So what happens if you've been laid off from a job, and in the meanwhile you're looking for a new job, keeping those skills sharp, right?
Yeah.
So when I was laid off, one of the things that I did to keep my skills sharp was that I taught myself, going back to AI, I taught myself how to create presentations that included AI. So I have AI presenters and presentations that I make now.
Nice.
The deacons are going to see that at convocation, probably, right?
Okay.
Because I have a presentation with the AI, and I gave a preview to somebody last week, and they said, "Well, who is that talking?" I said, "That's AI."
Wow.
I taught myself how to do that.
Wow.
So so you just had to keep those skills
Mhm.
sharp, because you never know when you may see an opportunity or a role that comes up that is looking for that type of experience.
Mhm.
And you can say, hey, I know how to do that.
You're right.
You know, that opens more doors for you.
It really does. And I say list all your skills, list every course that you've taken,
Yeah.
extracurricular activities, and also what's good is recommendations.
Yes.
Get
Yeah.
those recommendations.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
those are important. Those are just as good as references.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, when they're asking me, recruiters asking me for a reference, I say my reference is my recommendations.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, it's crazy you say that. And I don't believe in burning bridges anywhere I am.
Mm-hmm.
So the last job that I had, you know, I was laid off from, but I had built relationships with those people and had connections on LinkedIn with them. So I was able to reach out and ask for those recommendations. So if you go to my LinkedIn
Yes.
profile, I have like 15 recommendations from people I used to work with. So, you know, it does help because people look at that.
They do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's talk about not burning bridges. I mean,
Yes.
that's important.
Yes.
Like you never know who you might see
That's
on
right.
your way back down the ladder.
That's
You
right.
you just
Yes.
never know.
That's right.
And I've seen it where I've been in a role and I was kind to someone, and then later on they have ascended me, and I can go to them and say, "Hey, you have any roles?"
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just building those relationships and maintaining them, and just making sure that you're always treating people the way that you would have them treat you. Just that golden rule just goes a long way in job hunting in the future. Like you
Mhm.
never know who else you might see, so just be mindful of that.
Be nice to people.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And I think, you know, all three of us are quite seasoned, right? We've had
Mhm.
good careers thus far, or have had a variety of different roles. And, you know, we know how to operate in that space of professionalism, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when you are faced with an opportunity that you may have had to take, you know, that's, you know, a significant job cut from what you were making before, you know, you still have that background, that experience, that
Mhm.
professionalism that you take with you. Just because they may act a certain way in the role that you're currently in doesn't mean that everything that you've learned in the past goes out the window, right?
Right.
So again, going back to, you know, just building that foundation and continuing on, you know, the things that you've learned in the past
Mhm.
and taking that with you and always keeping those standards high for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we have a question in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Has anyone been asked to do a video resume or introduction?
I have not.
I have. Yeah.
I've had to do a video, like, you know how most companies will do a pre-screening where, you know, somebody would call you and say, hey, we just want to find out more information about you before they refer you to the hiring manager.
Yeah.
Well, I've had to do this several times where they have an app called HireView,
Oh, yes.
and you record yourself, and they're you know, predetermined questions that
Mhm.
you have to answer, and they give you a time to answer, and you have to be on camera. And so, yeah, I've had to do those.
Yeah,
Those are
it's-
quite interesting.
So
Those
is
are-
this a pre-interview step?
Yes.
Yes, like a
Wow.
like
Like
the
a- like a
screening,
screener.
like when they would call you, like oh, I like your resume, but you know, normally a recruiter would call you, hey, I like your
Mhm.
resume, just, you know, want to ask you some, you know, additional questions
Mhm.
to see if the hiring manager would be interested in bringing you in to talk to you.
Mhm.
And instead of doing that, it's recorded.
It's recorded.
Like
Wow.
Delta does that, for example.
Yeah, I just did that recently with a client.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually got landed the gig.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was a pre-screener. So again, for the person that was asking the question, make sure you have a great background, great lighting. You have on a nice white shirt, jacket. You're looking presentable as though you're interviewing
Mhm.
in front of someone.
And I'm old school, shirt and tie, suit. I mean, an appropriate business suit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
Appropriate, not too tight.
Appropriate, not too tight,
Mhm.
not
Yes.
anything with all kind of embellishments
Yeah.
on it.
Mhm.
No big brooches.
Oh,
We'll save that for church.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe a nice little pocket square.
Mhm.
You know, nice.
Like you look today.
Yes,
Put
thank
the
you.
camera on the man.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Amen. Always.
Thank you so much. But yeah, and I think that's another point we have to bring up too. some people don't have that training to know what is appropriate to wear
Right.
for an
Right.
interview, right?
Yeah.
And I wish we had a graphic that said, wear this, don't wear this.
That has to exist somewhere.
I'm sure it does. People know how to find anything else
They
on
do.
Google.
Listen, ask ChatGPT what you should wear to your interview.
Exactly.
They will
Exactly.
give you a description.
Yes, she will tell
Yeah.
you
She
what
will
to wear.
let you know
What to wear.
Yes, she will. She will.
Yeah. Make sure it's quiet in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put the dogs and the kids away.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And make sure, like you said, lighting is important. And it gives you the opportunity to preview before you actually record the actual interview as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that's something that a lot of companies are doing. It saves time. It makes it more efficient for them. If you're someone that's camera shy, just practice in front of a mirror before you
That's
actually
great advice.
record the actual
Yeah.
interview.
Great advice.
Yeah, and it's like communication, how you present yourself,
Exactly.
and communications as well.
Exactly.
One I had to do a presentation
Mm.
one time.
Mhm.
Oh.
I had to get on. I got on Canva, got my presentation together.
Mhm.
They gave me a topic and how I would come in and streamline their systems.
Ah.
Yeah, I had to give a presentation on that. It was pretty fun. It was
Wow.
fun. It was a great experience. Yeah.
It's a necessary evil
Yeah.
to me. Like
Yeah.
presentations,
Mm-hmm.
I'm great. I can say this. I'm great at giving, presentations and putting them together and presenting and all that. Well, what is your motive? A lot of times I'm thinking
You trying to steal
they're
my
trying to take
That's
intellectual
right.
property?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you
That's
trying-
exactly what they're doing,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
Your intellectual property for free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And I had an interview in person that I had to do a presentation. I didn't send it to them beforehand. I had a little flash drive. Here you go. Oh, and I brought my own laptop, so you don't
I
have to
was
worry
about
about any
say-
viruses
I was
in your
about to say,
system.
they let you put that in that computer.
Right, exactly. I brought my own laptop. So, but yeah, so that's a necessary evil I think that folks are going to run into, having to do presentations and
Mhm.
and come up with solutions to issues, and that's some very unethical.
That
companies
happened to
will do
me.
that.
That happened to me a couple times. It was they wanted to interview me for the fourth time. The agent called me
Wow.
and I said, "Tell them to write a check."
Right. This is consultancy at this
Yes,
point. I have spoken to you
Exactly.
I need
4
a
times.
contract.
This is a
Exactly.
check.
And they were asking me about how to implement their solution, and I got to the point I was like, they're picking my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I told the recruiter, I said they need to draw off a purchase order
Yeah.
for my contract.
And if they're asking you to do that, they know that they should have known that you were smart enough to figure that out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
I think each of us does independent consulting in some capacity,
Yeah.
is a main role or a side role or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think that people don't do that enough. Like,
Right.
you have a really interesting skill set. You can create your own company
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
using
Right.
your skill set to improve other people's work as a consultant. Like,
Mhm.
it's amazing that people don't do that. Like, I don't understand you when you have such a unique skill set, and it's definitely something that's people are looking for out in the world. So brand yourself
Yeah.
Yeah.
as this consultant and start to work independently
Yeah.
in
Absolutely.
different capacities.
Absolutely.
Get that paper.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you
As
can,
the young people say, get that bag.
you can
Consultancy
command.
pays well.
It pays very well.
Yes.
It pays well.
well.
Yeah.
And that's what I do.
Yeah.
Everybody say, you're an entrepreneur, Gina, but my consulting business
Mhm.
That's right.
is my business.
Yeah.
And I command my rate.
Mhm.
I don't tell them what the rate is. I say, okay, what is the client? What is their
Yeah.
rate range?
Yeah.
And they'll give me a rate range. I'm like, well, no,
It's below.
this is my
That's
range.
right. What did Dr. Black say? The fee is the fee.
The fee,
The fee is
The
the fee.
fee is the fee.
And don't be afraid.
Right.
Know your worth.
Know your word.
Yes.
And it's something you fall back on in between roles.
Mhm.
If you've already built that
Exactly.
clientele, you can fall right back onto
right.
that. If you are laid off for any
Yeah.
reason, you still have some semblance of a way to bring in some income.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about something else? The dark LinkedIn, right? So when I say dark LinkedIn, as soon as you post that you're open to work, what happens? Has this happened to you all? Has have you been inundated with fake profiles? People, oh, let's connect. And then when you go to their page, they have 2 connections and they're in like, Fiji or India or somewhere.
Mhm.
But the person that is in the profile doesn't look like someone who would live in one of those places, right?
Right.
And so they're basically spammers, right? They're trying
Mhm.
to scam you
Yeah.
out of, your hard-earned money that you absolutely gonna need because you're looking for a job.
Right.
Mhm.
So that's something that people need to watch out for as
Mm.
well.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they put in a search for open to work and they will try to prey on those people that are now open to work. Or they'll offer services like, oh, resume writing,
Yeah.
the same information that we're giving away here tonight
For
for free.
Right.
They'll say, oh yeah, we can help you to optimize your resume and get your resume, past the ATS. And really it's a crock, right? It's not something that they're actually going to do. They're going to take your money
Mhm.
and you're going to be on LinkedIn crying about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know someone that paid like $3,300 to have it was supposed to be this package.
Did you say 300 or 33?
$3,300.
What?
Yes, it was
For
supposed to be a package that they're going to put together. You're going to get a resume, you're going to get cover letter, you're going to get all these different coaching sessions, and they're going to put you in front of the right people so that you would be in position to go to the next level in your career. And when this person found out that they were being scammed, thank goodness they had put it on a credit card, so they were able to dispute it, as well as get all their money back. But so many people fall prey to it because they're desperate now. If you go on LinkedIn
Yeah.
right now, there are so many people desperate for work,
Yeah.
and they're trying to figure out, well, how did this happen to me? It was supposed to be the other people
Wow.
that were losing their jobs, not me.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of that,
Yeah.
especially government
Yes.
Yes.
government workers. Yeah.
Yes.
This isn't what I voted for. It's not,
It, but he said he
unfortunate.
was gonna do
but
it.
it was
do
what
it.
you
That's
voted
what,
for.
that's what
It
he
said
said.
it was
It's in
it
black
was
and
in the
white on the paper.
see black
Right.
and white. It was
Black
in the
and
book.
white,
Yeah.
clear as
Yeah.
day.
It was a project.
Mm.
What they said. So
My goodness.
yeah.
Well, this has been really, really good.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna close here. I think we're out of time, but let's have some closing remarks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing I would say to job seekers out there is that never, ever, ever give up, right? Utilize every single resource that you have. Don't burn any bridges and reach out to folks. Sometimes we may be apprehensive about reaching out to people that we don't know on LinkedIn, but it's something as simple as, hey, I love, that you post about, I'm in training and development. So, oh, I love you post about training and development, and I love what your company is doing, blah, blah, blah. One thing that I've learned about people is that people love hearing good things about themselves.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to reach out and never, ever give up. Something is going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and it's going to happen really soon.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yes.
I think my closing remarks are to not be afraid of AI. Please just
Yes.
embrace it. We're here. We have ascended to heights that we never thought we could ascend to, and we now have this incredible tool that can benefit you immensely. So just don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Learn to use it. I am volunteering. Find me on LinkedIn if you need help with prompts. We're checking on your resume. I'm going to volunteer Deacon Dorrington and Gina as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have questions about how to use AI, what
receive
prompts
it.
to use, we are willing to provide you some guidance. Just don't be afraid of it. And like Deacon Dorrington said, something good is going to happen for you. This is not the end. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yes.
That part. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
My closing is let's do a challenge. Spend more time, like Dr. McKinney said earlier, on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Facebook, TikTok, those are great. Those are mindless entertainment. I like my mindless
Mhm.
entertainment. But really, if you really want to become a thought leader and stand out, and it's not LinkedIn is not only for a job, but it's also branding you as a consultant, as a product owner, or a service provider. I challenge you all to really spend time, take this information that we have shared today, using AI, using the prompts, and we're going to have our prompt engineer. We're going to share that information as well. But take 30 days and spend at least about a couple of hours a day just perusing LinkedIn and networking.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
It's worth it.
it is for your future.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So we're gonna take a little offering here, Deacon
Amen.
Dorothy. 'Cause we got some kingdom building we got to do over here.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
if you can share how people can, contribute to our church.
So the the easiest way is, of course, Zelle, electronic, right? AI, Zelle, and as well as through Cash App, TV's $TVC 101010. Also on Givelify as well. And
Thank
we
you.
take checks that are that have money in
Make
the bank.
sure they don't bounce.
Yeah,
We'll
with
take
money
a
in the
check.
bank. Yeah, we take that, and we take cash.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Deacon Dorothy.
You're welcome.
And Dr. McKinney, can you talk about our kingdom building that we have, our project that we have at the Vision Church?
Yes. So we are renovating our church. We have been in our church for a very long time, and we are bursting at the seams, and we need
Yes.
more space to build God's kingdom. So we have a renovation fund, visionrenovationproject.org, visionrenovationproject.org. That is our website. Please check us out. And learn more about our giving campaign and our pledges to build out our church. So thank you all for taking the time to check us out.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, this is our first series here, live on Facebook. And thank you, everyone, for joining us with Moguls, our entrepreneur ministry. We have more to come. Our next session that we're going to announce is our real estate readiness. So we're going to have a panel of realtors and people to help you prepare your credit, get your credit right,
Amen.
so that you can be a real estate mogul.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you for tuning in. God bless you, and God bless all of your endeavors. Amen.
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 Amen. Bye-bye.